Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and breaking news came in today where, shockingly, CEO Jeff Zucker, wrong button, there it is, CEO Jeff Zucker has resigned, stepped down, exited abruptly from CNN. Now, here's the report from CNN. Let's start to see what CNN's going to tell us here. CNN Worldwide President Jeff Zucker, he is resigning effective immediately. In a memo, he said, as part of the investigation to Chris Cuomo's tenure at CNN, I was asked about a consensual relationship with my closest colleague, someone I have worked with for more than 20 years. I acknowledge the relationship evolved in recent years. I was required to disclose it when it began, but I didn't. I was wrong. As a result, I am resigning today. Now, Zucker didn't memo the colleague, but CNN's own reporting has revealed that the relationship is with Allison Gollust, the chief marketing officer for CNN. Now, it's important to know it's a big role. So this is a complicated one. They're both divorced. They're single, apparently, according to this. And they had a consensual relationship. You might think, so what? Okay, well, whatever. Well, it's a little sketchy, and there's more to the story that we're going to unfold. It's weird because...
Happy Wednesday, Andy. Always good to see you fighting the good fight. Thought I would start the stream outright.
Yes, you did, Gene Rick. Thank you. That's how it works. If you pay enough, you just interrupt the show with a British robot. Gene Rick, we love you. Thank you so much for your support. We couldn't do the show without supporters like Gene Rick. So, Gene Rick, you know we love you. Thank you so much for all the amazing support you show us. So thank you so much, Gene. Back to it, though. So... they were divorced. They're single. They have a consensual relationship. Here it says sort of. Allison then even commented, "Jeff and I have been close friends and professional partners for over 20 years. Recently, our relationship changed during COVID. I regret that we didn't disclose it at the right time. I'm incredibly proud of my time at CNN and look forward to continuing the great work we do every day." So here's where things take a turn. Okay, so they go against the HR policy. She's a very high-ranking person there. Like, basically, they call her the number 2 under Jeff Zucker. So you got Jeff in charge, and then she's managed to somehow get to number 2 status while, doing what she did with Jeff consensually. But, okay. But then you got the 2 people in charge, and then no one knows that they're in a relationship. Now, apparently, everyone sort of assumed and implied, but, they did it off the record. And, that's definitely a dangerous power dynamic that you need to reveal to the company and make sure that, people are aware. Like, people are trying to get ahead and they're never going to get ahead of the person you're sleeping with. Is that what, there's a lot of issues that this can cause, right? Problems. So, here's what CNN also, let's just get through it. It's not that long. Zucker took over in 2013 at a time when the industry observers said the network was facing an identity crisis. He revamped the network's program, a veteran of NBC, where he climbed from producer on the Today Show to president of the entire network. Zucker brought an eye for news and talent. He also brought a hands-on management style and gained the trust and respect of the talent staffers throughout the network. In an email to staffers sent shortly after Zucker, Jason Kilar, the CEO of CNN's parent company, Warner Media, we'll get to that in a second, I have accepted Jeff Zucker's resignation of chairman. As chairman of Warner Media News and Sports and president of CNN Worldwide, we thank Jeff for his contributions over the past 9 years. Kilar added, we'll be announcing an interim leadership plan shortly before these organizations are at the top of their respective games. We are well prepared for their next chapters. Zucker is one of the most powerful and influential executives in the media industry. His abrupt resignation comes as Warner Brothers is in the process of merging with Discovery. It also comes as plans to launch a streaming service, CNN Plus, in the spring. So look, there's a lot to unpack there. First of all, Jason Kilar and Jeff Zucker hate each other. Jason Kilar was the person who... So, sorry, I know this is a lot of like industry speak. For some of you, you're going to lose me, but try to follow along because it's important to understand how it works. CNN, AT&T... the cell phone company, AT&T, bought Warner Brothers and became Warner Media. And that's what was going on for a long time. Warner Brothers is a big studio. AT&T owned it. And so CNN was part of that sort of package and CNN deal, Warner deal. So AT&T owned CNN. During that phase, Jeff Zucker took sort of a downward spiral. Jason Kilar, who was brought in from Hulu, was on the rise. And then out of nowhere, Discovery came in and bought Warner Brothers because AT&T was like, we don't care about Warner Brothers. This is not going to make us money. We should be focusing on AT&T stuff. And they did a secret deal behind the scenes. Jason Kilar was in charge. All these people had no idea. And that was done by this guy, David Zaslav. There he is, David Zaslav, who owns Discovery. If you guys watch Discovery, have Discovery Plus. Now they bought Warner Brothers. So now it's going to be Warner Discovery in about a year once they get through all the tax auditing, approvals, government sign-offs, etc. But everything looks like it's going to happen. And this guy, David Zaslav, is going to be in charge of Warner Media within the year, if all goes well. So right now, Warner Brothers and CNN are kind of in just like auto mode, like auto driving, because there's no one really in charge. Jason Kilar was blindsided. He was upset. Jeff Zucker is apparently his best friend, Jeff Zucker from CNN. And so the speculation has been, and I know this from my answers, that like Jeff Zucker was supposed to become this main guy's number 2 and sort of oversee the whole Warner Brothers Discovery initiative, sort of jump from CNN to then do even more stuff. So I bring all this up because it's sort of important. Jason Kilar, who took the back seat, now is kind of like, what's going on? There's a lot going here in the power dynamics to sort of understand, well, what's happening. Add to that the fact that female staffers at CNN are furious that this woman that he had an affair with still has a job and he doesn't. Female employees at CNN are furious that chief spokesman Allison is keeping her job after lying about her affair with newly resigned CEO for years. Why is she allowed to keep her job when she's promoted while she was promoted while sleeping with her boss? See, this is where stuff gets juicy. CNN is supposed to be a transparent news network. How does she get away with lying about their affair for so long? Early Wednesday, Jeff sent a memo to colleagues announcing he'd be retiring after his relationship came to light. He called during their probe into Chris Cuomo. We're going to get to the Cuomos in a second. He called the relationship consensual and told the staff he'd wish he had disclosed it sooner. She released a statement shortly after, saying they had been colleagues for 20 years and it changed during COVID. One insider claims the comments a total lie. They've been together for years. And she's still lying about it today. The statement she made recently that our relationship changed is a total lie. There they are together at the Billy Joel concert. So now the insiders are saying, they've been in a secret affair even before they were divorced, hence what led to the divorce. And they're saying they only got together now, but that they've been in a secret relationship for a very long time, which makes this a lot more troubling. It makes this a little bit more sketchy as to what's happening. Now, were things taken, as we look, here she is. Sorry, I keep it the wrong one. Here she is. She's Executive Vice President, Chief Marketing Officer of CNN Worldwide. That's a huge role. And I'm sorry, it does look like she, I hate to shame somebody into you didn't get on your merits, but I don't know, guys. Do you think she got on her merits? Do you think she got on her merits alone as she rose up the ladder? Is that okay? But there she is, okay? And now she's planning to stay. Now, where things get even more interesting as we go down the wormhole of this, let's watch this clip because she had some very questionable relationships herself. I don't know why.
President of CNN.
Hopefully it's going to play here.
CNN has a real ethical problem on its hands. I mean, the fact that the upper management at CNN, starting with Jeff Zucker, the president of CNN, has not disciplined Chris Cuomo, the anchor, for his taking a hand in guiding his governor brother through all this. The fact that the CNN anchor actively helped to cover up what the governor was doing and worked on message points for the governor to deliver. This is a real ethical problem, and CNN's taken no action. And one of the reasons why, and I just have to point this out to viewers, do you know who is in charge of communications at CNN? Governor Cuomo's former communications director, Allison Gollust. Mm-hmm. She now runs the show. She's the number 2 to Jeff Zucker at CNN. And one of the reasons CNN has not taken any disciplinary action against journalist Chris Cuomo is because of the relationship she has with former Governor Andrew Cuomo.
Yikes. So here you have the head of CNN having an affair, allegedly, for long, but at least been secret relationship for a long time with the woman who's in charge of the marketing and PR of the network, who was tied to Governor Cuomo. And the connections, when I hear this and we start going down and we dig deeper and deeper, it's like, dude, what else are you hiding, CNN? This, to me, this step down and that's why I'm trying to get you guys to understand it all. There's so much more going on here. It's so clear. And I'm sharing all this relationship and the owning of who's getting what. It's important you sort of understand because, this is a big network. You like it or not, but we should know what's going on, and we demand transparency, right? And if they're being super shady and lying, we need to know. And so as this takeover happens with the David Zaslav guy I told you, and then Jeff Zucker managed to weasel his way back into a bigger new role, he's still back in charge of CNN, and this isn't ethical. This isn't ethical at all. She gets to just hang out while she did all this, and then he under his watch. Look, I'm not, I will say it always, every time, I don't believe in cancel culture, but this is unethical. This isn't right. The dude shouldn't be working for a news network if this is how he's going to roll, because this is an opinion network then. It's not a news network. You know what I mean? Which we've known. All of them are like this way, but this is some shady stuff. And then you add on the fact that, Chris Cuomo's now also has been claiming, we reported on this previously, that Jeff Zucker totally knew about his involvement with the scandal. They were totally connected.
That delay, how do you explain CNN waiting so long?
Well, I think we're going to find out more details, because what we're actually seeing now is CNN President Jeff Zucker and Chris Cuomo, who appeared to be buddies for years, are now going at it. So you had Jeff Zucker said it was a bridge too far, with the latest information coming out by the New York's Attorney General, and then the following independent investigation that CNN did. And what you saw was Chris Cuomo came out this weekend and said, look, there's been no new information. My buddy Jeff Zucker has known about this all along. And so I think you're going to see them go back and forth. The Cuomos don't go away quietly. So I think CNN is going to be going up definitely against somebody who wants to clear his name and his brother's name.
So again, oh, that looks cute. I want to watch that. But again, it's just getting sketchier and sketchier. And again, the timing of like, well, I had a consensual relationship with a colleague. I realized it was wrong. So I'm going to step down. Sorry, it's impossible not to see like Homer Simpson here. This guy looks like Homer Simpson. Just add like a little bit more stubble, take away the glasses, and say dough. Sorry, is anyone else seeing that? But man, I don't buy this headline, and I like to keep you guys in the loop, since I know a little bit of this industry. When I see something like this, I want to delve into it more, because there's more to this, guys. I mean, there's definitely, look, the 7-figure lawsuits alleging it knew about Chris Cuomo's harassment allegations. Network slams fired anchor for false claim that network CEO Zucker was completely aware of his help. There's so much going on behind the scenes to trigger what's happening here. Plus, you got the fact that, look, back in the day when he took over, they've all admitted this. He turned CNN into the sport. He made politics a sport of let's all just scream at each other and let's all argue and get all divisive. Like that, Fox News did it too, but CNN leaned heavy into that to make it also. That's why these 24-hour news networks, I really do think, have turned us into crazy people. I mean, not me, I don't watch it anymore, but the people who watch it, so invested. They're like, rah! Like when you go to a sports game, you watch it, you get it out, you sit at home, you get it out, and you move on. But politics, it's all day long. You see it everywhere, and you never get it out, and you're always just screaming at people. And at a certain point, we just got to like agree to disagree. Okay, we voted, they won. Let's move on. But we can't do that. He even admitted, it's like, if we break away from Trump coverage, the audience goes away. So he's acknowledging the fact that he just wanted to unhinge people. He knew his audience hated him. They knew the audience was just glued to watching and hate watching, that he just kept feeding it to them to keep them unnerved and unedged, unhinged the whole time, just to keep the ratings going. This is scary stuff, as the more you unpack it all as we go through and figure out more about it. Plus, then you go back and you realize, I said it earlier, he worked during the Today Show. What did he know about Matt Lauer and all the stuff that was going on in this past? He was there during that whole phase where Matt Lauer was getting away with, allegedly, the stuff he was getting away with. What did he know? What did he play? Did he just move on and forget? Oh, that's Matt being Matt. It's incredibly disturbing to know in the last 24 hours what we've learned. The reporting in the New York Times, Variety, incredibly sad, Zucker told. I've known Matt for 25 years. I didn't know this Matt. Really? Okay. It's weird how this whole story just disappeared. What happened? All of this went under the rug. We never talk about it anymore. I never feel like we ever got an actual investigation to explain what happened, who knew. The cover-up on the whole Matt Lauer story is still to this day like, what happened? Am I right? Like, what happened? This was huge news. He was a huge talent for them that got exposed and then got canceled, and some would say obviously rightfully so. And Where did this go? Again, swept under the rug. That's what always happens. Just sweep it under the rug. If you're powerful enough, these people do it. Kathy Griffin recently just came out as well, saying that Zucker yelled at her, fired her when she asked for a raise. The stories just keep going and going as you find it. And then I found this. This doesn't read as well today, but this was back in 2017. 2017. So remember, we met 2 years ago. Oh, during COVID, it's only recent we fell in love. Okay. 2017, 2 top CNN execs go in a heated public debate during Manhattan media party. The 2 lovebirds in question, Mr. Live Action Homer Simpson and this lady, Allison Gollust. Go Lust. She's lusty, all right. Top names in media journalism were shocked on Thursday when the 2 CNN executives got into a public argument. Sorry, make sure you can read all this. CNN, Jeff Zucker, and publicist at that time, Allison Gollust. So she inched her way up from publicist to VP. They got in a heated brawl at the Powerful People thing. I hate this website. It's the worst. Just get through it. Sources at the party said the argument was not so much a fight between the pair, despite appearing like one, but simply issues at work spilling over. Hold on. Someone made a point. Is this the wrong article? I hate. Here it is. It was something they were dealing with at CNN all day. It wasn't an argument, said a source. Gollust came to CNN in 2013 when she left NBC, where she and Zucker had previously worked together for 15 years. It looked like she was reprimanding her husband or something, mocked an unnamed rival news executive. Other guests of the party include executives from major news channels and websites such as Anna Wintour. Yeah. But look at that line. Looked like she was reprimanding her husband, screaming at him in public or each other over their stress of the day. So, but they just met back in COVID, right? Yeah, there's nothing here to go through or be worried about. So again, all of this connected to I never trust these TV networks. I always gave CNN a little bit more of a pass just because I was stuck in a liberal bubble for most of my life. And I feel like they used to be better. And I always just blame Fox News because I feel like they're talk about spin zone. They really are just a complete spin and pro conservative issues. But if you don't see CNN's doing the same exact thing, well then you're putting your blinders on and you're ignoring the reality, because CNN is equally as guilty now of what they're doing, their spin, and continuing the angry, divisive liberal side. In fact, as more of a liberal person, really in my heart, CNN has done so much damage for the liberal views and everything else. And honestly, people should be calling them out more and getting more upset with it. And Jeff Zucker, I'm sorry, you're responsible for it, dude. And so I hope, like Matt Lauer and everything else, we don't just let this slip away as sort of his attempt at damage control to, it was just a consensual affair over the past couple of years. We should have disclosed it. My bad. I'm going to step down because, I don't want to cause any damage. Allison will stick around, though, and that way there's no conflict. And best of luck to the network. Oh, yeah, hey, what's up, new president of the whole company? Oh, yeah, cool. I'll get a new job in a little bit. Awesome. Sounds good. We'll put out a press release and, forgive ourselves. That's what I worry is going to happen here. And that's some scary stuff because, these media outlets obviously have a lot of control, have a lot of stuff. So I wanted to make sure you guys were alerted and had all the information on the story because there's a lot going on. And I'm curious, I'm going to put a poll out. CNN is fake news. They're all fake news, though. They're all fake news. Fox News is also fake news. That's my own frustration because I know I have a lot of conservatives. I'm not trying to knock you. But, dude, you're going to admit Fox News is too, right? I hope you better admit they both are, is what I hope we can at least agree on in this chat. You can prefer one. I don't care what you watch, but you better acknowledge that it's fake news. Do you, what's the question here? I guess I have so many questions in these polls. Is this damage control to hide a bigger issue for CNN? I mean, I assume that's going to be a pretty big yes. Let's see what you guys say in the poll. I think there it goes. That's what I believe. I'm going to see who disagrees with me. I don't watch CNN. I don't want to get too many reports about this kind of stupid stuff because I don't really care. But I do care about the media and who's in charge of it, right? Because a lot of people, people are worried about misinformation in Joe Rogan, etc. Joe Rogan's a comedian. Joe Rogan's an MMA commentator. He's not a news network. CNN touts itself as a news network. And so when you see this kind of stuff, yeah, it's important we expose and call out the misinformation that the news network that they're saying isn't, being biased, is being biased and isn't real. And I think just labeling fake news all the time is fine, but I like when we can get more specifics to put the pressure on them, because today's a good day to apply some pressure to this man, to real life Homer Simpson, because I feel like they're hiding something. They are hiding something. In fact, I'm curious what my bestie Steph, the altar nerd, says. What's up, Steph? I got to adjust your title there.
Up, everyone.
Good to have you here as always. Do you feel like CNN's hiding something here?
Well, for this dude to go pretty quickly, yes. Someone in that higher position would try and drag their feet as long as possible to try and keep their position in place, right? Because my understanding of this story is that he's the president of CNN. It's not easy to topple someone like that. For him to go pretty quickly, though, it's like, for me, maybe a little bit of damage control. Now the problem's out of the way. Don't dig any further because he's gone now. It's all good. Nothing to see here anymore. Dude is gone. Nah. There's something else going on. What? Who knows? But the way that they've, CNN have been so judgmental and so nasty to other celebrities over the years. The one that springs to mind for me is like Kathy Griffin. It's just hypocrisy. It's like, springs to mind, don't throw stones in glass houses. Like, seriously. And this is just epitomizes it. Like, how did he feel that he could get away with basically banging that CNN exec like the number 2 and not disclose it to HR? Like, the hubris on this dude. Turn around and say, it just, it was COVID, Bud Light, and it just, ran away with me, and I just didn't get around to disclosing. Yeah, balls. Well, you don't get to where you are as a president of CNN and not be that lapse in your judgment and forgetful. You calculated, you're 10 moves ahead to get to that kind of position in life,
Absolutely. So. And what's crazy is, it's clear he's lying. It's clear they're both lying. And apparently we showed that party example that was reported in 2017. He got divorced in 2018, conveniently, because I looked up when did he get divorced. 2018, and a year after that. So I'm suspecting that lady is cause of the divorce. He's a rich guy. Maybe the ex-wife signed some sort of NDA to get taken care of and get paid, so it wasn't exposed, right? Who knows? But this idea that he was, we just met a couple years ago during the pandemic. My closest ally, I finally had a relate. I call BS because they were living in the same building before his divorce. She was his successor. There's a lot of shady stuff in here that this woman, to me, I have more questions about her as well. Homewrecker, climbing up sleeping with him to get the role. Sorry, that's how it's looking at me. All this stuff doesn't make her look like she should still have a job there. If he's stepping down, she should be stepping down as well. They both should be stepping down. But what's interesting here, Steph, because we were talking earlier, was there an affair? It didn't seem like there was, but more and more is looking like, this was a much longer term secret relationship, which again makes this a bigger issue. But add to that, now they're saying this is Cuomo's revenge. Apparently, Chris Cuomo, and this is because all this is breaking his life, but I totally believe this. Chris Cuomo, who got fired and pissed because Jeff Zucker knew, has now leaked this out, and that's why we're hearing this story now. Chris Cuomo's revenge: ousted host forced lying CNN boss Jeff Zucker's resignation by blowing the whistle on his open secret affair with staffer Allison Gollust while fighting for $18 million severance package. So now as the day progresses, we're going to get more and more reveals to sort of express what's happening here, because if I'm Chris Cuomo and my buddy Jeff Zucker knew the whole time, it's like with the Screen Junkie stuff, and what happened to me at Defy, Steph, it's like, the hypocrisy of of course they knew, whatever, I don't want to get into my job, but you know what I mean? Like, you want to expose it if you can, right? You want to come out and say you hypocrites. What the hell? And so Chris Cuomo, of course, his allegiance is no more. So clearly he told HR, and then HR went and approached Jeff Zucker, who had to come clean. And the affair was an open secret, according to media sources who say it long predates the pandemic. Chris Cuomo's legal team brought it up while negotiating his severance package. According to sources, they asked why he should be fired for a conflict of interest when when Zucker had one of his own. Damn. Zucker and Gollust both claimed in separate statements that romance evolved during COVID. Zucker and his ex-wife Karen separated in 2018. Gollust and her ex-husband Billy split, though it's unclear when. They were both living with their respective families in apartments in the same Upper East Side building until Zucker sold his in 2018. According to internal email, Michael Bass, Amy and tells that will take over as interim bosses, blah, 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 blah. But there you go. Like that's the reveal there where you see Cuomo turned on Zucker to expose. And I got to say, I believe it. Steph, does this offer a little bit more understanding as to what's happening and why today?
I don't know whether I believe it or not, only because I don't really know much about Chris Cuomo over here. We don't know much about him. The only bits that I know are pretty much through you, mate. And so I don't know. It makes for good reading and drama and entertainment, I have to admit. Although also as well, we have to understand this is from the Daily Mail. So maybe take it with a little bit of pinch of salt.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just, so for those who don't know the story, and there, first of all, here's Gollust and Zucker in 2016 with Tom Brokaw. So they've been around. Here's Jeff and his wife with Chris Cuomo. So again, for those who are unfamiliar with what happened with Chris Cuomo was fired for conflicts of interest in defending his brother, Andrew, who was governor of New York at the time and was going through a scandal. And Chris Cuomo was under investigation for, basically using his resources to sort of protect and potentially victim shame and like get ammo figure out who was coming after him, what information they had, and how he could make sure more of it didn't spread into the news. And so, yeah, it was a pretty big conflict of interest. At the same time, it's his brother. Some were like, well, I can understand why he would do that. But as a huge CNN host, was he using his connections improperly, right? And then we learn Andrew Cuomo, who's the governor, it seems, using his improperly. A lot more stuff came out. He was clearly covering some stuff up, some inappropriateness, and it all got exposed. And so the reality then was, at a certain point, it got so overexposed, Steph, that CNN had to fire him. CNN was like, sorry, it's a conflict, we let you go. And so the reality, and I even though I know it's Daily Mail, like it makes sense to me. Zucker had to turn on Cuomo. Cuomo's currently trying to get a severance package. He's in the fight to get that money, so he at least has something right at the end of this, because now all of his jobs have been removed. And he's sitting there, probably knew full well that Zucker was around with, this woman and suspected it himself. So, right or wrong, speculation, fine. This is the piece of the puzzle that I think makes a lot more sense. And I think Jeff Zucker, in my 2 cents, just to wrap it up, and then I'll come back to you, Steph, but to wrap up this standalone portion, I think Jeff Zucker's trying to do the best damage control he can. The reports were always that he was going to quit CNN at some point, and like I said earlier, he was going to go move to just sort of the Discovery Warner hybrid thing that's going to end up becoming sometime this year. The question will be, will this drama get enough damage, too much damage for even his buddy, the new head of Warner Brothers, to let him take the job? Will be what's interesting to see as this progresses. But again, it exposes CNN again as a network we can't trust. Now, granted, there's some new leadership. Maybe they can try to earn back the viewers' trust, but it does reaffirm my stance that CNN is not a factual news network. They are an entertainment channel. They are out there for clicks and just attention. They are out there to disturb you, as even they admitted themselves, which I was showing their stuff, where he's like, we can't cut away from Trump coverage because the audience would go away. They want you unnerved. They want you unhinged. They want to just keep you, pissed while you're watching, so you stay watching. They don't care about actually reporting the news. And so just a good reality check that CNN sucks. They all suck, in my opinion. All the network news, sadly, all suck these days. But CNN is getting exposed. What else do you think they're hiding from us? I want to hear your thoughts down below. If you're watching live, don't go anywhere. If you haven't already, can you check to see if you're still subscribed? Hit that subscribe, hit that bell for all alerts, smash the like button, leave a comment down below. Let us know what you think on this issue. Do you trust CNN? Did you ever? If you're watching live, don't go anywhere. If you're watching on the replay, click on these. That's right. There'll be videos here later. If you're watching later, you can also see the full live show by hitting join and becoming a member. Always catching our replays anytime you want.